Hello everyone and welcome along to an absolutely freezing Ibrox Stadium where Rangers have just dropped another 2 points, drawing one each with Dundee United. I'm joined here on the gantry at Ibrox with Tommy McIntyre. Tommy, difficult game to watch. There's a lot of negatives and a lot to discuss, but what's your overall immediate reflections on that game and on that performance?
Okay, come for the football, stay for the frostbite. Listen, really insipid. Thought we tried hard in spells, conceded that awful goal. Never really looked like we were completely in control of it, and then get a goal, try and force it. Just didn't have the quality levels, and we're back where we started again with a lot of pressure on Philippe Clement.
Yeah, I'll start at the start, I guess, probably the best place.
If you have to. It's cold up here. We'll get to the end.
The big news today was James Tavernier dropping out the side, back onto the bench, and he was replaced by Dujon Stelling. Did you think that made a difference? Do you think we saw a better or more solid performance from Dujon Stelling, or do you think it was going to be much of a muchness no matter who it was?
It was much of a muchness. I don't think Stelling was that great. You could argue James Tavernier would offer something going forward, but he's not been in great form. Certainly, slither of paper stuff. I don't think it actually was as big as... That story isn't as big as people are making out anymore, because James Tavernier is now in a rotation cycle.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fair. The first half performance was awful. We were so slow. We were so slow. We had no creativity. We were giving the ball away constantly with simple, straightforward 5-10 yard passes that we were.
Diomande was bad, really bad for that in the first half.
Yeah, he absolutely was. I think as a team we were really bad.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's the case? What's happening? What's going wrong? What did you see out there that you were just like, it's all leading to no chances being created, I guess, and it's all leading to a boring performance from Rangers?
God, nice easy question. Then I really appreciate that. Well, listen, you can break it down any way you want, right? You start at the top end, you go right. Your striker's not a focal point, in the greatest sense of the word, right? But this performance is not off the back of just serial dessers. Then you look at there's a growing vibe within the team that it's just get it out to Bajrami or get it out to Czerny and hope they do something. Midfield was lacking today because they sat too far back. Number 10 space with Diomande, try to fill it out, didn't work out. The passing selection for players in the final third was absolutely awful. We didn't seem to go up against our men. Midfield was sitting too far away from the defence, and then we were just kind of ropey at the top end when we were trying to get ideas. Is that short enough an answer for you?
Yeah, that's a solid basis for me to go on to the next question. There we go. So
you can tell it's cold. I am just rattling through.
So, in terms of how the players were set up and how they played in that first half, you have to imagine that's not how Philippe wants them to play, or is it?
No.
Do you think?
No, I think you're right there. I think it's, and I've got I know people have got a growing frustration with Philippe Clement and the way that he chooses things. Get a guest here, in that he's looking for us to play a lot quicker, and there's nothing you can do about that in the first half where players are turning back inside or not making runs. And we were looking at that, and Robin Propper was getting a lot of abuse at one point for turning back in, right, instead of trying to spray the ball out. And he's actually got a really good passing selection, you were pointing out, but you're looking at the top end, you're going, nobody's making moves for him.
Right? There's no movement at all.
I very much, I know that there's a lot of rancour about Philippe Clement and pressure on him, quite rightly, right? But there's nowhere he's saying in the tunnel, just a final reminder, lads, don't make any runs and stay static and hide behind the guy marking you. He's definitely not saying that. There's players in there who are still hiding in their jerseys. They're hiding in their jerseys, and they did it in the first half, they did it in the second half, and quite frankly, they've done it all season. They
absolutely have. We'll get straight to the most disappointing part of that first half, which was the goal that we conceded. Dundee United completely zero pressure on them at all on two or three different passes as they made their way up the park from their own half. The ball is a bit of a diagonal ball out to the left hand side, all the time in the world to take the ball down, control it, cross it in, and then Sam Dalby, I think his name is.
Sam Dalby, yeah.
Sam Dalby, standing 6 yards out,
middle of the goal. Criminal stuff.
Absolutely free header. And we're 1-0 down, and it's talk first about the goal, Tommy, and just how disappointing that was. But then, actually, it didn't feel like it was against the run of play or anything like that. It didn't feel like there was a run of play at that.
No, you're right.
Time.
We'd kind of dominated the ball, but there wouldn't been tons of chances
Yeah.
or anything like that. I think Bajrami stung the palms of the keeper and that type of thing. But you're right, and there was a VAR check in the stadium as well, and people were kind of looking at that because he had so much space. You're thinking maybe he has strayed offside,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. It was like your centre backs were poles apart, and he's literally just wandered in. It's like that gif with John Travolta where he's kind of looking about. That was Dalby. He was like,
Yeah.
I don't believe I've got this amount of space.
Yeah.
And then the ball just nods it past. I mean, you can maybe say it's another version of Butland not coming off his line, but Butland's not to blame for it in any way, shape or form. The defence is.
Yeah, I didn't. Obviously, when we were watching it, Jack Butland's on his backside before Dalby even headers it, and I'm not sure why that is. But
I'll need to see that one back.
It was just, it was absolutely criminal goal to lose. And when you looked at it, you didn't really see where we were going to come back or how we were going to come back and get back into the game if we continued to play the way we did in that first half. We looked like we might have got a wee bit of luck just before half time when Robin Proper had the ball in the back of the net. It was rolled out for a Conor Barron handball, which VAR confirmed pretty quickly, so I have to imagine that it was. So 1-0 down at half time. Philippe Clement makes 2 changes at the break. Obviously, we spoke a lot at half time about how big a 45 minutes that was going to be. For
Another
Philippe
big 45 minutes for Philippe Clement.
Seems to happen every week.
It's the longest resignation letter in history.
But I was 2 changes at half time, and they came on and they did make a huge difference, but it was Dessers and Diomande that were taken off. Did you think that was a sign of just how poor both of them had been in that first half?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Diomande's passing selection and his space or moving into space was incredibly poor. That's a boy's shot. I
think he's at the stage now where he needs to step up. We can't be blaming it on formations. We can't be blaming it on systems. He needs to step up and take responsibility as a player himself. And he's been here long enough, and he'll show up. He shows up in European games, and that's fine. But he needs to. The bread and butter of the Scottish Premiership. He needs to step up and take responsibility and be the player that he has the potential to be.
I think you're spot on with that, and I'll double down on the formation stuff, because people say, oh well, try to play him in a 10 and this formation doesn't work for him, whatever, right? Doesn't matter where you are on the pitch. A 5 yards pass is a 5 yard pass. You know what I mean? It's kind of bread and butter stuff. One like to hope it's bread and butter for football players. You don't know, but back to your kind of wider point there as well. You're looking at Dessers. I mean, I watch him sometimes. I think I've never seen a more static centre forward. He's always behind somebody.
Yeah.
He very rarely gets across front posts. Very rarely kind of motors in. And I think it was. You're chasing a game like that. The pressure's on you. Going, I'm going to take off my established number 9.
Yeah.
That in itself tells you something, right? And it tells you something about what Philippe Clement's trying to work with as well, to some extent. Although I'm not giving him a pass here, but Diomande and Dessers were incredibly poor, but you could have taken a selection of any of them at this point in time for that first 45.
Yeah, Yanis Hadji was one of those that came on at half time. I thought he made a big difference when he came on, and I think you can see creatively he's just different to what else we have in the squad, and actually shows up the lack or the fact that there isn't anyone like him when there should be plenty of players like him in our team. And it's but he came on, I thought he did well. He looked busy. I thought he was almost too keen to shoot at times, a little bit, but he was involved in every part of the game, and he was a real important part of us driving forward and ultimately getting the equaliser. But I thought early stages of the first half, first 15-20 minutes, we were playing better, but we were still struggling to see where the goal was coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably broadly agree with you on that Hadji stuff. I think he was desperate for it, and it kind of came across sometimes. But he was definitely occupying that central space in front of the box pretty well. I think you're right. There's no doubt that Philippe Clement got an impetus out of them. They came out the blocks. I think it was a corner straight away. We were front foot. We were pushing right up the park. I mean, although United did have another absolute chance for a header again, where somebody was, I think it was maybe Dalby again, was absolutely free in the box, but he put it by the post. But we were certainly pressing. The team had brought it back out the dressing room. But I'm with you. It looked again like we defaulted to give it to Czerny, give it to Bajrami, give it to Hadji, whatever that looked like, and just hope that they'll skip by somebody and do a bit of magic.
Yeah, we're just waiting on a bit of individual brilliance to try and dig us out a hole effectively, and that's what we got. Václav Černý picks the ball up again, nice wee 1-2, and squats the ball home. Really nice goal, really nice piece of football. It was one of the rare nice pieces of football that we saw.
It made it all worthwhile coming out today.
But at that stage, we then got 25 minutes roughly left of the game, and you're expecting us to go on and push for that second goal.
35, you want to include that injury time?
That's very fair, yes. So, but you're wanting us to go on and push on for that goal. We spoke at half time around, right, we're 1-0 down. We know it's a big 45 minutes for Philippe Clement. These players will probably go out and dig out a 2-1 win, and it'll just tick over to next week. The fact that we didn't find that winning goal, the fact that we didn't find that second goal, the fact that it's 2 more drop points this afternoon here at Ibrox, how big an impact does that have on the wider picture and Philippe Clement's job at Rangers?
So I'm always careful to caveat this, right, because people think saying one thing is your personal opinion as well. So I'll make sure that everybody understands that, which is I think it's really incredibly difficult for him to put the wheels back on now, right? And I think he's lost the majority of the support. Do I think the club will sack him? Absolutely not. He's still their man, and given that the club in its entirety is in flux at the moment, from the boardroom all the way down, and that we've just produced those numbers, etc., within the accounts, I don't think they're willing to then say, right, we're going to change that at a managerial level as well. Nobody will like that, but I think that's where we're going to be. To be honest,
I think we need to. Sorry, we've got a visitor
He's back
coming
again.
Yeah, there we go. I think I'm not going to sit on the fence on that one. Philippe Clement has to go. I think he absolutely has to be relieved of his duties as Rangers manager. I can't see any way back for him. Like you eloquently put, he can't put the wheels back on. But there's no way back for him from this. He has to go. There is flux in the rest of the club at the moment, but we can't. The reason for keeping him can't be because everything else is a shambles as well. So
I don't disagree. I'm just kind of fleshing out that I think that the club it would take a hell of a lot for the club to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah,
to be honest
I think that's potentially fair, but it shouldn't change anything. I don't think. In my opinion, it might, but it shouldn't. Philippe Clement's time as Rangers manager should be up. We said before for quite a while now that we're just waiting on the next slip up. Well, the next slip up has been today, and I have more than had enough, to be honest.
I think the majority of fans will probably agree with you on that. I've more than enough. It's difficult to see how he turns this squad around. But again, it's not the point of this match reaction or anything like that. But I would challenge anybody, right? Who do you bring in? The default seems to be McInnes. I'm not convinced, right? But who do you bring in? How do you get something better?
The default is McInnes, but we can leave that to.
Well, I think a lot of people that's the easy reach for them to say, right? Well, it's a Derek McInnes. It was, there was a lot of puff pieces in the media recently about that type of stuff as well. But the question is, at what point do you look at these managers, or do you look at the bedrock of this squad and say that it's the bedrock of the squad? We cleared out a lot over the summer. There's still some established players. It's still not working. There's a deeper part to that as well, and. I'm not saying that Philippe Clement's the right man for it. I'm not making that argument. I'm just saying there's a wider need to change here.
Yeah, I think we'll round it off there for this immediate post-match reaction. Please do give us your thoughts on Philippe Clement's future as Rangers manager, if you think this will make a difference, and also give us your thoughts on the Rangers performance that you saw today. Thank you very much, Tommy, for joining us. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching and listening. Till next time, goodbye.